What is happening, guys? Welcome back to Redbeard's Garage. You've seen us put a ton of parts on the Honda Talon from Super ATV, and now we're getting a quick disconnect rear winch set up. So we build chassis normally on this channel, and what I'm going to do is wire every chassis to use this winch setup. I think it's going to be pretty sweet because it'll all be, like, as long as you have a hot and ground hookup on the chassis, you'll be able to use this winch. So instead of buying, you know, these are 6,000 pound winches from Super ATV. They got synthetic ropes. They're super high quality, but I don't want to have 10 of them, one for each vehicle. I go broke. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up so as long as we have a hitch and a hot and ground, we can use this winch on any one of our builds. So this is going to be pretty sweet. And when we go riding, we just grab this winch, set it in the rear. I think it's a pretty good idea. So Super ATV sells this winch kit. It comes with everything you need to bolt it together. It has nice big beefy handles, so you got a good hold on it to put it in. We got a nice little winch cover because this winch won't get used much. We got a Honda. Cue the time we got stuck. And we're also, like I said, using a 6,000 pound winch because everything we build is well under 2,000 pounds. So this is overkill, but with winches, I always go way more than you think you need. This kit comes with everything you need, super handy. So let's get to it and put this thing together and show you how to hook it up. All right, so first we're gonna put all of our brackets onto our winch caddy. So we have these ears here. They're gonna set on the inside, and the carriage bolts are gonna go in from the outside. We have those laying here. Grab two of those, two nuts, and these are gonna hold themselves. We don't have to worry about any kind of adjustment or anything. They sleeve right on there. Now we take our Allens, slide this in. All right, now we need to put our fair lead faceplate on. There's two different styles. One for if you're running like their 4,500 pound winch, and then one for all the way up to 12,000 pound. Looks like we're going to use the smaller one. Here's the last large carriage bolts. Slide those in. And there is some adjustment in this. So we're going to set ours dead center. Now we can put our fairlead bracket on using the bolts that come with our winch, which are these socket cap screws and two nuts, two lock washers, and two regular washers. And for wiring, instead of wasting the new roll, because this is super good, like actual copper wire, I'm going to use some offcuts from where I put the front winch on our Talon. So these will be perfect, so we don't have to waste any of these, and we can throw these in our wire hoard. So it's going to be really nice. So what I would like to do is mount this winch box right here, because that's going to keep it out of harm's way. All right, now I'm going to center punch this so my drill bit won't walk. So I'm going to drill this out to 1/4 inch. Okay, so there we go. Now we can use a washer and a lock nut and get that cinched down. We can go ahead and bolt our winch on with the included hardware. Drop down our winch and cut the zip tie with our extremely dull knife. Put it in free spin. Okay. Who wants to see a blast from the past? Anybody remember these? These was an as seen on TV wrench when I was a kid. The Robo Grip by Craftsman. They're pretty, I mean, they won't work like under heavy extreme duty, but I would love to find a new pair of them just because I remember these from my childhood.
Where'd you get those?
My stepdad's toolbox. He's not my real dad. And now we can clamp on each side of this. We can clamp this stop on. That's going to be our winch stop. So when we tighten it up, it's going to hit this. So we'll put the bolts and nuts in this and we'll proceed to wiring. So what I'm going to do is to protect my wires, I'm running them through the extra holes on my winch plate. Get the worst pliers in the drawer. Okay, and we still have some extra wire, so thank you, Super ATV. So we got the ring terminals that come with the Super ATV kit, and I have a crimper that I used to solder these lugs, but just so time consuming, and these crimpers work extremely well. So first I crimp it on the 50 setting. This has multiple dies built inside of it. You just push this button, you can roll it around to a different one. And I'm going to finish on 35. Oh, like I said, it will sometimes pinch and leave a little ear. I just take my hand crimpers and crimp that in, but that's as strong as soldering in my opinion. It works really good, and that's way quicker than pulling out the old propane torch. The kit does come with heat shrink, but I like to use marine heat shrink because it has hot glue layered on the inside, and it'll actually 100% waterproof seal this connection. Give her an old dirty torch. So on screen is an Allison connector. You can get these always down to double aught, like 0 gauge wire. So you can run some massive power through these plugs. And all they are is a hot and a ground, and they're a one-way plug, so you can't mess it up. You can use these if you're running a winch on a trailer and you want to power the winch off your truck, don't want to put a battery on your trailer. You can bolt one of these. They have bolt holes, so you can bolt this to your truck somewhere, and they do have waterproof housings that go over them, so water won't get in them when you're not using them. And you can put power to stuff, so that's exactly what we're using them for. I've already used the same crimpers that I did for the ring terminals. Now I crimped on the lugs that come with these Allison connectors, and now I use some of that marine heat shrink. Now we can snap these into place. So all these items are linked down below: the winch cradle, and stuff like these crimps and stuff. All of this is super cheap. If you're doing a lot of this stuff, it makes life a lot quicker, because I used to solder my lugs and it would take 5 minutes or so to get the torch out, where it takes 30 seconds now to crimp these connections. So once we have our plugs in, now we have a lead that will bolt to our winch controller, and so this is going to bolt on there with the provided hardware. And then we have this leads, and I made it extra long because you never know how what chassis it's going to be on. So once we run some braided wire loom on this, make it look really nice, we'll have a lead, so when this is just sitting in storage, we'll just throw this over top of it and it'll stay with it. And then we can put the opposite connection on each vehicle from now on. So all we have to do is run a hot and a ground to the opposite plug that would be on the chassis, so we can plug this up to any vehicle anytime we need it and use this winch. So that's super handy. All right, so there is the hitch mount all installed. Now I did have to go on Amazon and buy a hitch extension because of this bumper. It would hit the bracketry on this winch mount. So this is how I set it up. I have a pigtail that is laying. I'll probably zip tie it in place or mount it to something, but we have a pigtail with the other side Allison connector, and we can use this for jumper cables as well. We can make our own set of custom jumper cables. So if someone on the trail has got a bad battery, we can just plug up a jumper cable harness to that. And that runs through a drain hole in the bed, comes out there and goes right into the battery box and is hooked up there. So it's super clean. And now I can pop the battery lid back on and we'll show you how this whole setup works. So there we have the two harnesses plugged up. Now if we reach, we can grab our lead, and I'm probably going to redo this. The way I've done it is I plugged the lead up and then mounted it with this soft clamp, so you can't you know, pull the wires out of the plug. But I'll probably redo that. So this whole setup is removable, but now so we can control it from outside the buggy. So that's pretty sweet. Or we can use the wireless remote. So it's going to be super handy because now, like I said, I can put a hitch on every vehicle, front and rear, and we have one winch that services everything. Now this Talon, I do have a 6,000 pound Black Ops winch on the front of it, but now we can have this for a removable, like for a recovery vehicle or whatever the case is. Super pumped. We can put this same hitch mount on our trailer to winch a broken vehicle up on the trailer. It's going to be really nice, and having that harness up there, like I said, we can power other things, whatever we need to, off of that connection, and I can make a mount that mounts to the body so it's secure and safe. But super sweet setup. So guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope this helps you out with your project in some way. Make sure to check out the links in the video's description where you can find everything we've done to this Talon and are going to do in future videos. So I think this winch mount is going to help us out tremendously on all of our builds from now on. We can basically set up every buggy with a front and rear hitch receiver for this winch and not have to buy a bunch of winches. Now I do have to say, I like having winches mounted on the chassis in the front. It's just the rear, you don't need to pull something backwards often, but when you do, we'll have something like this on our recovery vehicle. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out those links. Super ATV is an awesome company that's helping you boy be able to put out some great content for you guys to watch. So hope you're supporting them because they are supporting the content that you love to see. So thank you so much for watching. We love you and God bless.